Welcome to episode 59 of Two Guys, One Sport. My name is Chris.
I'm George. Chris, happy Thursday. I ate too much pizza, but I'm feeling okay.
I'm gonna resist and say
no, it was Pizza Hut. It wasn't Malnati's.
Okay.
Because it was Pizza Hut is I could order on my phone and pick it up on the way home.
Nice.
I screwed up and got the breadsticks too.
That's
a lot of bread. Yeah,
Oh.
rookie move. Real rookie move.
Honestly, the breadsticks at Pizza Hut are one of the only things that I can say are usually consistently good. But it's only because,
awesome.
It's only because of the spices, though. The spices.
Yeah. Whatever the little chopped up cocaine or whatever they put on top of them to make them so damn tasty. They are. I ate them at like 6, and at like 7:15, 7:30, I'm like, oh, it really feels so good. Kind of ate too much.
Yeah. It happens, though. It happens.
Well, you know what? Ready to rock and roll. Mm-hmm. I'm carved up.
Nice.
So let's do this.
Let's do the thing. We've got this is the good, the bad, and the unpredictable this week because we've got some good stuff with New Japan. We've got some bad stuff with WWE, and we've got the unpredictable amazingness that is shaping up to be All In. So we're going to talk about all of it.
Yeah.
In short order, but of course, first we're going to do matches of the week. I'll go first on this week.
Sure, I got a fun one. Recommendation for friend of the show, but you go first.
This was the match that I'm going to say was for me the most memorable match of WrestleMania weekend, and this is.
Was I in attendance for this one?
You were not.
Okay.
So this was from Shimmer 100.
I was not.
Yes. Then this would have been something you would have really liked, I think. Madison Eagles versus Deonna Purrazzo.
You have intrigued me, my friend.
Non-title match, just a good straight up one-on-one affair. Madison Eagles, the genetic monster, the trainer of all things great, female and Australian in wrestling today, and just consistently always one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa, the Fujiwara armbar specialist, one of the youngest and most exciting talents on the scene today, who is just lighting it up everywhere she goes. This match, as a general overview, I would say would be the women's equivalent of any one of Zack Sabre Jr. and Fred Yehi's classics from Evolve.
Lots of grapple fucking.
Oh yeah, this was grapple fuck supreme, but it was so good. I'm normally not a grapple fuck guy, as you know, but this was just so well done. Just right out the gate, these two were just straight up testing every limit that they had for their physical extremities. Arm cranks. Leg stretches, neck cranks, basically any and every hold you can imagine they were working it. Madison is more of a mixed worker in terms of the fact that she can do both technical wrestling and striking as well. And her finish is called Hellbound. It's a brutal looking Death Valley driver. And it's a joy to see if you get to watch it, but it's also kind of scary. And Deonna, as I said, the Fujiwara armbar specialist. So she was looking to get the arm basically at any point that she could in the match, but Madison was turning the tables on her the whole time, and Madison was working the arms. Like any chance she got, she was going for hammer locks, she was going for arm bars of her own. At one point, Deonna was trying to go for a headlock takedown, and Madison stopped it. Like literally just stopped her momentum and then flipped her up into an arm bar and was like bending back the arm over her knee. It was just the transitions were so great in this match. Just amazing chain wrestling back and forth and back and forth. Deonna, being the younger and much smaller competitor, definitely fought with all of the pluck and valor that a babyface should. And at one point, she did actually come very close to getting the armbar in, and if she had, it would have been over. She came off the ropes, high kick right to the head, hit the Russian leg sweep that she used to set up the armbar, rolled through, and almost had her, but Madison at the very last second came out from underneath with her with her right arm and grabbed her left hand just before Deanna had it locked in, and was like, nope, 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 and just barely managed to separate it. It was such a great sequence. And eventually, Madison got the win. She was going for Hellbound. She kept trying to go for it. Deanna kept blocking. So Madison basically just said, all right, screw it, and dumped her right onto the mat in a kneeling position, just kicked her in the side of the head and said, ball game. And that was it. But I mean, the lead up to it, the chain wrestling, the technical expertise was spectacular to watch. These two really work well together. This was actually the second in a 3-match series that they had. I know the first one had taken place in Australia a couple of weeks prior, and Deanna had won that match. And then the rubber match was supposed to take place a few weeks later at the Shimmer tapings that happened in Chicago. I don't remember who it was that won the rubber match, though. But either way, these two work very well together. They clearly have great chemistry. And Deanna definitely is benefiting from the fact that she's in there with one of the best in women's wrestling in all time. So, you know, these matches were some of the best I've ever seen of her, and she's had some really great matches in the past year. So props to Deanna for upping her game at all times. And if you can find this match, it's on, I know it's on demand on WWN Live. I highly recommend it. For me, it was the highlight match of Shimmer 100, which was in and of itself a completely stacked card, a great show, especially the back half of the show. Incredibly great back half of that show. And this match was part of that back half. It was well worth your time, well worth the money spent to get it for the WWN Live. Highly recommended.
I like it. I like Deanna a lot. I'll check it out. She's going to be all in, right?
Yes, she is.
We will talk about that. Are
Yes,
you coming to that?
Hell yeah.
All right, come on down, man.
Yeah, it's like in what, 3 weeks? I think. Yeah, like
September 1st.
In like 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to make my flight reservations. I just
September
have to
1st. I'll tell you this as we get closer.
Mm-hmm.
It is easier. It may be easier for you to fly into Midway instead of O'Hare.
Yeah, I've been looking at prices. O'Hare is actually like far cheaper. That's the only thing.
It's not the end of the world either way.
Yeah.
You fly into O'Hare, you'll have to take, because I'll pick you up either way. We'll have to take a train and then transfer to a bus and then walk 2 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
But the train and bus transfer are in the same place. The train lets you off at a stop. The stop is a bus depot. You walk a little bit and you get on the bus. You take the bus 2 blocks from my apartment.
All right.
If you fly to Midway, you have to take a train to another train that transfer at the same line, and then that goes across the street from my apartment. So, moderately easier to fly into Midway because you don't have to worry about the bus and walk, but not significantly easier that if you can fly in for like a lot less to go to O'Hare, then go to O'Hare. You know what I'm saying? If all things are equal, flying to Midway, it's easier to get to my house from Midway. If all things are not equal, then go with the cheaper, and we'll make it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I mean, worst comes to worst, I'll just grab an Uber cross town.
It's not. Yeah, no. It's not. I'm saying if everything else is equal,
yes,
Midway is the way to go. If O'Hare is $25 less, flying to O'Hare. You know what I'm saying? Plus, O'Hare is like way nicer.
Yeah, and also I think there are. I don't even know if there are any direct flights that go straight from Newark to O'Hare. So that might also be the limiting factor there.
O'Hare's also way nicer.
Yes,
you know? And it's like 10 minutes from my mom's house.
Yeah.
So you can meet the whole big Greek family.
Yeah, nice.
My match of the week is a recommendation from friend of the show, Cam Tierney.
Okay.
Tierney and Duke, our buddy, and I were having a conversation about Brock and Roman and stiffing guys and not stiffing guys. And Tierney brought up this match. And I'd seen it before many years ago, but I hadn't seen it in a while. And I was like, oh, I have a match of the week. This is from Wrestle War 1992, a WCW show from May 17th of 1992. It features the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, versus Tatsumi Fujinami and Takashi Iizuka.
Wow.
Yes, Chris. The very same Takashi Iizuka who was in Suzuki Gun with the big glove.
And who is terrible now.
Yeah, he wasn't terrible then. This is 25 years ago. 26 years ago now. Now, the winner of this match got an IWGP Tag Team title shot at a later to be at a soon-to-be-determined date. Random trivia note, your reigning defending IWGP heavyweight champions were Bam Bam Bigelow and Big Van Vader. So, good times.
This is like the cast of characters that are
it's the most random. Jim Ross is on commentary, and he's knocking it out of the park because it's Jim Ross with his fastball.
Nice.
Now, we should talk about the Steiner brothers.
Yes.
They were the only real pushed tag team. They had massive guaranteed contracts in WCW. They'd only jobbed Sting and any friends of Sting, which was a problem when you're all baby faces.
Yeah.
So to say that they were protected is an understatement.
Mm-hmm.
So the match starts, and Rick and Scott just spend the next 20 minutes stiffing the ever-loving shit out of Fujinami and Iizuka.
Yeah.
To the point where like both guys are bleeding from the mouth, and they're just because the Steiners are just bags of dicks in this match. The entire duffel bag full of dicks, and they're just stiffing these guys. But you know what? Let me say this. Were they unprofessional? Absolutely. Would I not want to wrestle them on this day? Absolutely. Especially because I would have been 7 years old. But was the match great? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which was the point Tierney was making. He goes, there's nothing wrong with stiffing a guy if the match is awesome because of it.
Yeah.
The problem is when you stiff a guy and the match blows.
Yeah. Well, also the fact that like you have to. First of all, it has to be agreed upon ahead of time.
Yes.
Second of all, it has to.
I highly doubt this was, considering two of the guys didn't speak English and two of the guys didn't speak Japanese.
So even if it's not agreed upon ahead of time, it has to at least be done in a way that while it. Obviously, if you're stiffing a guy, there's no way to really do it safely, but in a way such that it's not going to deal excessive and or permanent damage.
Yes. Slapping a guy in the face over and over again until he starts bleeding from the mouth is excessive and or permanent damage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the way this style, but here's the thing. The stiffness made the match awesome. It was like, holy shit. It's like watching, we all mark out, all of us, you, me, and everyone else on this show. Friend of the show, MDS, in the chat. We all marked out when Suzuki choked out Goto at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's Goto drooling out of his mouth, and then they just start beating the ever-loving shit out of each other.
Yeah. It worked.
It worked.
It freaking works.
And it worked here, too. Right. It worked here, too. It was car crash wrestling. It was ugly and hard to watch, but goddamn did I enjoy every second of it.
That's awesome.
What does that make me? I don't know. I don't care. This is going to be a pretty introverted episode.
We are just fans of wrestling that has.
If guys want to beat the shit out of each other, great. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
sure.
Apparently
sign me up.
Apparently my headset's been screwing up all day for some reason.
You're good.
It randomly just hear echoes in the background or something. That's because it switches to my speakers for some reason.
It's like Silent Hill is going on in your apartment.
Yeah. I'm actually just disable those outright so we don't get the back and forth with that.
The Steiners end up winning with this incredibly awesome crossbody off the top, and just win the match and win the future title belt. And I don't know if they ended up winning the title or not, but. I checked out this match, as JR would say, not for the faint of heart, but it is a doozy. Easily north of 4 stars. Easily. So thoroughly enjoyed this match. Then again, I was sitting at my house, not, in the ring.
Yeah.
So. My friend, what you got for me?
I will definitely make sure I bookmark that and have that be a thing that I watch in the near future.
Wrestle War 92 on the network.
Excellent. So let's start off with New Japan. We'll start off with the good. We'll then go to the bad. Then we'll go to the unpredictable. So New Japan is right now on the road to Wrestling Dontaku, which is the last big event of the year before we hit what do you call it? Dominion, the second biggest show of the year.
I've announced my main event for. I made my prediction for Dominion. So, I'm happy if it happens. My prediction for Dominion, the Broadway. We're getting the fucking Broadway, Chris.
Yeah.
And then we're off to the races.
Yeah.
I think there is I know we're kind of jumping the gun a little bit. I would not say there is a good or even decent chance, but I think there is a chance that Okada drops the belt in the U.S. at the Cow Palace show. Not a great one, maybe 10%.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I would have said 0% a month ago or 2 months ago. So I don't know. Something doesn't seem right.
Something doesn't smell right.
Doesn't seem right, you know?
So let's dive into this. We've got the first big show happening this Sunday. This is the only one of these shows that we're talking about that's not a Road to show or the actual Wrestling Dontaku show. This is Wrestling Hino Kuni, scheduled for Sunday, 1500 JPT or JST. I don't really know what it would be.
So it's going to be like 2 in the morning Sunday?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 in the morning Sunday.
So if I'm out with a lady and I come back, I can
turn
on coffee and just go power straight through.
Yeah. That's the ideal scenario there.
Good plan, Chris.
Let's run down this card here. Let's start with the general of the Young Lions, Yuji Nagata. Once again, continues his leadership, teaming with Ren Narita to face Shota Umino and Tomoyuki Oka.
Doesn't Red Shoes Jr. have like a broken arm or something?
I don't know.
I thought he has like I thought I saw something on Twitter about he's got like a broken arm or foreknees or something.
Oh, well, that's
Red Shoes Jr. Umino. I think is he in this match? Is he on this?
He's supposed to be in this match.
I thought I swore I'm not making this up. This isn't like tweets from the ether. I could have swore I saw something. Umino, Young Lion, broken arm. I thought I saw something. Maybe I don't know. Google has got nothing, so maybe I made this up.
Let me see if there's something on Twitter, because that's
Young Lion Cup. That's not it. Young Lion debut of Shota Umino. That's not it. Shota Umino, Young Lion, broken arm. The riveting radio, folks. Sorry. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I made it up. Maybe I got something wrong. This isn't a bit. I could have swore I saw something about him breaking an arm. So
they've got it pretty much on. Like, it looks like they have it on. They have him still competing on almost every single event. So unless this was something that happened like within the last 24 hours.
No. I saw this a while ago. Not a while ago. During the week, but not not today or yesterday.
Okay. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that. But the underlying storyline of this is that lately it seems that there is some sort of a rivalry / feud developing between Shota Umino and Yuji Nagata, of all people. So the two of them have been going back and forth. They've been facing each other basically every one of these tag matches that has happened. And I'm sure it will conclude in some sort of singles match if Umino is actually not injured. And it's a good sign, because Umino has definitely Umino and Oka are the two guys who have like risen to the top of the Young Lions with Kitamura and
I'm an idiot. Yagi's the hurt one.
Okay, there we go.
Yagi is hurt per New Japan's Facebook. Broken
right.
Up. Sorry about that.
I
didn't mean to interrupt you, but
that's all right. No. Why am I blanking on his name? Who's the other Young Lion who's out on excursion right now?
Well, we don't know if what's his name's ever coming back. The Kitamura. He may be done with the company. Yeah,
Kitamura's got an injury going on, but who's the other one?
With Kitamura, we have
Kawato.
Yes, Kawato, our guy.
Yes, our man.
Is he in? He's in Mexico, right? He just got there.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, Yagi has the broken arm. I'm sorry, not Red Shoes Jr.
Oh, okay, all right, that makes sense. All right, so with Kitamura and Kawato both out on excursion and doing their thing, Umino and Oka have kind of risen to the top of the pack of young lions and have been like the guys. They are right now the guys with the best prospect. They're probably going to be the next ones to graduate the dojo and head on an excursion. So, and of course, they're only learning from the best. Going into matches night after night after night against freaking Yuji Nagata, who has more experience than most wrestlers could even dream of having.
Look, you've done this. If you're listening to the show right now, go on to cagematch.com and type in like a random New Japan young lion. Type in Kawato, type in Kitamura, although he's not with the company, or type in anybody from that generation, Jay White, and you'll see that they wrestled like 100 times their first year. Chris, there is no teacher-like experience. You want to get good at professional wrestling, you need to get your ass in the ring in front of live crowds. I'm not talking in the performance center where you're wrestling in a controlled environment in a warehouse with rings. I'm talking in front of people so you can learn to fuck up and learn to get better.
Yes.
And that goes for anything. I've told my story about when I was a teacher on the show. I had to have. Like, you learn more in the first hour giving a lesson than you learn in a year worth of classroom instructions. It's just how things work. You learn more by doing than you learn by observing. So, like, you want to get good at professional wrestling? Wrestle.
Yeah.
No other way to do it. Wrestle live matches in front of live people and learn from there. And if you're lucky, wrestle live matches against a bunch of fucking old guys who will tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Like
the dudes who have the experience, who have the miles, who just they just got it. They know it.
Look. I mean, we've beaten this horse into the ground. The horse is dead and resurrected and dead again. But you look at a guy like Big Cass, who's been in NXT for, 4 years and sucks?
Angelo Dawkins, who's been in developmental since it was freaking FCW, I'm pretty sure, and is still there on his, fourth different gimmick? Fifth?
Yeah. I mean, they're doing something right. So, I don't know. We've discussed this over and over. So anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah. So that's our curtain jerker for the show. Next up, we've got ourselves an 8-man tag. Taguchi Japan sending out Ryusuke Taguchi, Tiger Mask, Jushin Thunder Liger, and David Finlay to face the Chaos team of Shogyo, Rocky Romero, and Jay White. Okay,
Jay White, David Finlay is like my favorite feud where one guy wins all the matches.
Yes.
But it's the development. It's like they started off as young lions, and then Jay White branched off and became much better and much more successful. And he's your reigning and defending IWGP United States champion, which is at worst the third most important person in the promotion. If the belts matter in kayfabe, obviously you have the champ, you have the Intercontinental, you have the US, right? And David Finlay
maybe the never open weight could be on that level.
Maybe, yeah, but it's on that same. It's in the same ballpark though.
That third tier,
yeah, that third tier grouping. I would put it on par with the United States belt in the WWE. That same ballpark.
Yeah. Although it's treated a lot better than the WWE US title, but
Yeah, but not a true comparison because it's the US belt is really the number 2 belt on its show. But I'm just saying overall, and David Finlay is still David Finlay who's kind of struggling. He's landed in the stable of misfit toys that is Taguchi Japan.
Yeah.
Probably the least most important stable right now in terms of guys who get pushed.
So sad because they really had good things going for them.
Yeah, but even
setting apart.
Yeah, even setting aside, the Taguchi and Elgin, who are in their own ways kind of scummy. One more so than the other. But
sorry, I had to clean the vomit out of my mouth there.
I'm just saying, set them aside for a second. The stable is going nowhere quickly.
Yeah.
Is Tanahashi still a member?
Yes, he is.
What's he up to? He's the most successful member of the stable, and it's
not even named after him.
It's not named after him. He doesn't really wrestle in their tags. He kind of does his own thing. He's going after the Intercontinental. Now he's going after the heavyweight belt, but it's very much Hiroshi Tanahashi and this group of Flotsam and Jetsam.
Mm-hmm.
And David Finlay.
And Juice.
Who we all love. We all love
Juice. Yeah, I mean, it's Taguchi, Tanahashi, Juice, Finley, and the old guys and shit. Because
is Elgin even still a member?
Yes, technically he is, and he who shall not be named is shit. Human shit.
But like, what are we doing here with this stable? They're the least important member, and they have David Finley. But my point is that this feud, one day, Chris, one day, David Finley's going to beat Jay White.
Yes.
And it may not be for the belt, and it may be in a tag match, and it may be in some random road to power struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But one day, he's going to pin that motherfucker. And all of us who've invested years into this guy are going to be like, yeah, David Finley, you know? Because I said it before, I'll say it again. All the pieces matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, all the pieces matter, homeboy.
It really is sad. It really is sad to think about the fact that, like, last year, you remember, I was raving week in and week out about how, like, the LIJ versus Taguchi Japan matches were, like, highlights of all the shows that they were happening on. And they, like, you go back and they still are highlights. They were still great freaking matches and a lot of fun. The rivalry was a lot of fun. But it's like once Wrestle Kingdom hit this year, Taguchi Japan just fucking went down the garbage disposal. And it sucks. But that is what it is. It's terrible. But you know, hopefully they're able to rise to the top. And in the meantime,
my point is David Finley. My point is Jay White is the third most important member of his stable.
Yeah.
Behind Okada and Ospreay. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
And David Finley is like the least most important member of his stable, which blows.
Mm-hmm.
But one day, David Finley's going to get that win, and it's going to make all the losing worthwhile.
You know why? Because continuity matters. That's the
continuity matters. And you know what? Here,
how many times
50-50 booking and shit like that not mattering, and and no one gets over because you're jobbing out everybody. And this is exactly what we mean. It's shit like this. So you're not jobbing out everybody here.
It makes all the difference in the world.
You want to build a guy, you build a guy, right, Chris?
And you stick with the story. You stick with it consistently.
And we talked about that last week. And we talked about that every week with Roman Reigns. Is he the unstoppable action hero, or is he the underdog babyface? You know, like, which one is it?
Who the fuck knows? Because there's no consistency.
Exactly. So it's very difficult to get behind this guy because he's not being presented in a consistent way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that is. I think that's very safe to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's not happening here. Everybody's consistent.
Yes.
So,
all right.
I'm sorry. Go on.
So next up,
the third. There's my little spiel on White and Finley, who I love both of them. Even though David Finley's got a horrendous look, and you know that that matters to me. You know that matters to me, man.
Yeah, no, I know it does. He needs to clean up the straggly hair and all that crap.
He's got him and Big Cass are tied for worst head hair in professional wrestling, man.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know. Corbin's up there.
Corbin is a good call because he's got a whole lot of nothing, man.
Yeah. All right. Next up, the most exciting feud that isn't yet a feud, but hopefully soon will be, continues in a tag match that features Toa Henare and Togi Makabe versus Toru Yano and Tomohiro Ishii. Like, when Henare and Ishii finally get in the ring together in a singles match, people are going to die. That match is going to be absolutely bananas. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. Like, that's something that I have so much excitement for, because Henare has really, like, he showed up this year as part of like at the end of last year as part of World Tag League, and then like he just was kind of a dud. But since then, as like time has gone on, like he was at the New Japan Rumble at Wrestle Kingdom, and then has continuously been moving on up. He's with Taguchi Japan, but he's teaming pretty much exclusively with Makabe, and that team just works because Henare is the young, unstoppable guy who is just, brawling to beat the shit out of people, and Makabe is the old dude who can't quite get it done, but is still egging him on to just. Yeah,
when Makabe cares, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, exactly. He gets it. He can still get it done.
Every now and again, you get the Togi Makabe who just no shows a tag, doesn't even tag in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When Makabe, when you get the Makabe who gives a shit, like he still can go when he's interested.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Hanare is showing me a little something.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
He's got some promise. He's definitely got some promise to him. The look for him is good too. It definitely, he's got a good look and he's capitalizing on it. Next up, we got another 8-man tag. We've got I don't even know if we can call this Bullet Club, but we've got Chase Owens.
Chris, Bullet Club is fine.
Bullet Club is
fine. Don't forget that.
Yeah, never forget. But we've got Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, Kota Ibushi, and Kenny Omega versus the Suzuki-gun team of Taka Michinoku, Taichi, Takashi Iizuka, and Zack Sabre Jr.
Give me that again. Who's on the Bullet Club side?
Money has been left on the table. That's my bird's eye view of this match.
Of what? You just cut out there for a second. All I heard was left on the table.
Yeah, if this doesn't eventually lead to a Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. singles match, money has been left on the table.
Oh yeah, absolutely. God willing, my friend.
That needs to be a thing. It needs to happen.
Yes.
But that's in the grander context of things because the Kenny Omega versus Cody feud still is ongoing. So
what feud? Bullet Club is fine. They had their match. Chris. The Young Bucks made their decision. They sided with the leader, Cody Rhodes. You saw it. I was in the building. We all saw it. They sided with, I don't know. I mean, did they not kick Kenny Omega in the face? Right? By the way, let us use this opportunity to talk about, if you have not seen what may be the last episode of Being the Elite.
Episode 100.
Watch it with its Godfather 2 ending.
Oh, yeah.
Cody Rhodes gets to the top of the mountain, and he's beaten all of his enemies, and he's vanquished everybody, and he's sitting there all alone, and he's sad because he realizes that everything and everyone that he loves has been broken physically or mentally or spiritually on the way. Mm-hmm. Just like, spoiler alert to a movie that's 45 years old. Okay? Spoiler alert to Godfather 2. Okay? Don't tune in. Don't listen for 30 seconds. I don't want people pissed at me. From a movie from the fucking 1970s. Just like after Michael Corleone kills his brother and he's standing there looking out over Lake Tahoe, he realizes, man, I may be at the top of the mountain, but the view is pretty fucking lonely up here.
Yeah.
So that's Cody. That was pretty great. And they cut back to that same sad music that they use in the hotel room when they introduced Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega in the same little group. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty great too.
Yes. I love how you're kayfabing me in this also. I love it. It's amazing.
Well, the club is fine. I don't know what you saw. Hey, I don't usually play this card. Only one of us was in the building for that. And I saw Matt and Nick Jackson kick Kenny Omega in the head. Don't know what you saw. Did that not happen? To quote Walter Sobchak, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Anyway. This match is the only people that matter in this match are Ibushi, Omega, and Sabre for me. But
yeah, absolutely. It's just it'll be a good match. The match will be fine, but it's just a tag.
I mean, it's an 8-man tag, and Suzuki is involved, so it's going to be a shit fist. But what more can you expect?
I like shit fists.
Yeah. Next up, we've got another 8-man tag. Surprise, surprise. Kushida, literal human garbage, Juice, and Tanahashi versus Will Ospreay, Yoshihashi, Haruki Goto, and Kazukata.
All right.
7/8 of this match is freaking great. I love it.
Yeah. All right. This should be good.
Yeah, this will be a great one. So like for 7/8 of it at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I may not be awake. Maybe not enough.
Yeah.
But this should be good.
Yep.
Okada's my favorite wrestler in the world right now, man.
Mine too. Mine too.
I'm not going to not watch him when he is wrestling. So, he's the dude. He's the man. And we have waxed poetic about him for long enough on this show. We will continue to wax poetic about Kaz Okada for a long time. But he is the dude. I love him.
And as long as he continues to be the dude, we will give him all of the credit in the world.
He's so great. I mean, he is a wrestling savant to be as young as he is and as good as he is.
Yeah.
We are living in the age of Okada. And enjoy it, because one day
I think you were right with your first one. We are living in the age of a god.
Yeah, that too. But, all hail. But I don't know. He's just so mind-blowingly great.
Yeah.
That, enjoy it, people.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're tired of us talking about it. I know. I get the people on our fucking Twitter. We know, blah 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 blah. But you know what? Sorry, it's worth it, man. He is worth it. He is just the dude.
Yep.
The dude abides. Kaz Okada and the dude. My second Big Lebowski reference today. Kaz Okada and the dude both abide. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure. And this will be a nice teaser for the eventual main event of night 2 of Wrestling Dontaku, which we will get to in just a a little bit.
Okay. So this is the Sunday night show, right? Sunday, 2 in the morning?
This coming Sunday, yes.
Okay.
So
day after tomorrow, or 2 days after tomorrow. Cool.
Yeah. So, and set your calendars.
Yeah.
Next up, special singles match that will this is an ongoing feud for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Titles taken into singles form. As the 6th match features Bushi versus El Desperado, and the 7th match features Hiromu Takahashi versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. So these 4 guys have been going at it pretty much since when did Desperado and Kanemaru pick up the tag titles? Was it at New Beginning or was it at the Sakura Genesis?
I think it was at Sakura Genesis.
Yeah. So these 4 guys. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right, because it was in the triple threat that also had Sho and Yo in it.
Yes, the triple threat that nobody wanted.
Yeah. So Bushi and Hiromu have continued their quest for the tag belts, and they are putting on stellar matches with these 2 guys. I mean, I never would have thought that I'd be enthralled by watching Yoshinobu Kanemaru wrestle, but it turns out when you put him in the ring with somebody like Hiromu Takahashi, it turns out pretty great.
Breaking news: her Takahashi good at his job.
Yeah, who would have guessed? So these 2 matches, I'm sure, will eventually lead to yet another tag title match at a future date. I think there actually might be one on one of the Wrestling Dontaku shows. We'll get to that in a second. But watching these 4 guys face off against each other in varying forms is a good time. And it's interesting to watch, especially for me, to watch LIJ be the team that gets the shenanigans used against them. And because it's like, for so long, how long was it that we had all the matches ending with Bushi or Evil hitting somebody with the freaking green mist or black mist, whatever.
So played out.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they do it in the triple threat, and then Kanemaru's like, "Nope, whiskey in the eye," and that's the win.
Yep. Whiskey in the eye.
Yeah, it was great.
Also known as a great Friday night in the Atsavis household.
Am I going to be experiencing that live and in person in a few months?
I will neither confirm nor deny. Maybe. So
anything's possible, right?
We got a lot of time to plan things.
That we do, my good man. So those will be 2 fun matches, and like I said, there will be inevitably some sort of repercussions for those involving the title belts that Kanemaru and Despy currently hold. We'll see how that goes. Next up, the first of 2 championship matches on this show. We first have in a match for the IWGP Tag Team Championships. Sonata and Evil defend against Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer. God.
I don't hate them as much as you do.
Yeah. Me and Killer Elite Squad are not friends. I'm not.
I don't love them. They had a really great match at Wrestle Kingdom. I really enjoyed that match at Wrestle. It started with the Killer Bomb right away and then was off to the races.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I think this match will be fine, assuming everyone's healthy.
Yeah, hopefully.
Which is Evil is back, so that's good.
Yeah, thank goodness.
That's good.
Evil being back is the most,
Yeah,
is the
from
biggest
from the orbital socket, right? A broken orbital bone or something.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was an orbital bone. Yeah. So I mean, the real question is, will the company have decided that because of this, because of Evil's injury, they're just going to have him drop the belts and go to to send him over to Killer Elite Squad, which I hope they don't do, because I would like to see Evil and Sonata get actual meaning behind their title reign, because it's been derailed by this injury. So I'd like to see them at least have a little bit more time with the belts to do something of significance with them. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Time will
we will.
tell.
Time will tell.
It should be it should be an okay match. I mean, it's anything that involves Lance Archer, I'm not going to give a ringing endorsement towards. But at worst, it will be an okay match.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
And then the main event of the show, the obvious highlight, a match that you have been clamoring for and that I have been clamoring for as well.
All good, right-thinking citizens have been clamoring for, I'd say.
Minoru Suzuki versus Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, this is going to be fucking awesome.
It's going to be
so, like 6 a.m, get your ass up, watch this match with us.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing anything on Sunday anyways. Get up, then you can go back to sleep before you got to go to church or whatever.
Yeah, if you're not watching this match, you're leaving money on the table.
you're doing yourself a disservice, people.
Exactly.
Like,
it's just you've wasted.
You should watch it.
You've wasted an opportunity to see greatness as it happens.
Exactly. You should watch it.
It's because it's nowhere. It's going to be nowhere near the same as it is if you're watching the VOD. Like watching it live as it happens.
Yeah, watch with all of us and marking out with us on Twitter. New Japan Overnight. Exactly.
Yeah. So that match is going to be amazing. Do you think that Naito picks up the belt?
Nope.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so either. I think we're getting my prediction: the double champ.
Yeah.
The double. Yeah, I think we're getting my prediction: Okada versus Suzuki at Dominion, 6/11 or 6/12, whatever it falls on this year.
Mm-hmm.
Title for title, winner take all, 60-minute draw.
That
Broadway.
Yeah.
I think that's our prediction. My prediction, not our prediction.
Wild to even consider that as a possibility, but man, is it an interesting possibility.
Yep.
It's something. All right. Next, we have Wrestling Dontaku, night 1, a week from tonight, a week from today, but at 3 a.m. Next Thursday. So late night, go to bed early on Wednesday, wake up early Thursday morning to catch Wrestling Dontaku. Opening match is Young Lions, Yota Tsuji and Shota Umino versus Chase Owens and Yujiro Takahashi.
Okay.
Nothing really to say about that.
Whatever. I enjoy these Young Lion matches. So
and the Young Lions, they're putting in the work.
Yeah.
Next up, Ren Narita, Tomoyuki Oka, and Yuji Nagata face the team of Ryusuke Taguchi, Tiger Mask, and Jushin Thunder Liger.
All right.
Interesting matchup.
Better.
Yeah.
Not great. Better.
Nagata's team definitely has the size advantage, obviously, with him and Oka. Oka, I have to say, Oka has slimmed down a lot.
Yes, he has. I like it. I like him a little more mobile.
Yeah,
to be honest.
It works. It works. Like, I mean, it was good when it was him and Kitamura as
the Beef Boys or whatever,
Monster Machine or whatever their team was. But him slimmed down and being able to move around the ring a bit, it works. I mean, he's definitely still the biggest young lion out there, but it's nice to see him being a little bit more mobile and active and not getting winded in matches. That makes all the difference in the world. Next up, we've got another 6-man tag: Sho Yo and Rocky Romero versus Takeshi Yuzuka and the Killer Elite Squad. Seeing this match as part of the lineup tells me that Evil and Sonata will probably win at Wrestling Hinokuni.
Great.
So I'm, which obviously I'm okay with. And I mean, but the unfortunate side of things is that it seems that they're also spinning their wheels right now with Sho and Yo because it doesn't seem like they really have anything for them to do while the tag title belts feud gets resolved between LIJ and Suzuki Gun. So, this is kind of a waste for Sho and Yo, especially because, we have to watch Rocky wrestle again. But
hello?
Situations.
Oh, there you are. You cut out for a second again. Yeah, you said it was a kind of a waste for Sho and Yo. I agree. There isn't, but it's just we know how Ghetto treats his tag team champions.
Yeah.
And tag team divisions, excuse me. So I get it. What are you gonna do? You know, it's just you gotta learn to accept some things as they happen. Doesn't mean you have to like it, but it's just how they do business. So it goes, my friend.
Yeah, like there's nothing you can do about the fact that Sho and Yo are just having their wheels spun. It's and that Rocky's wrestling with them. I mean,
exactly.
Obviously they like Rocky a lot. They've always treated him with that level of respect and prestige. But it's
It is what it is, man.
Yeah,
we say that all the time, but it is what it is.
Yep. Next up, 10-man tag. Toa Henare, Literal Human Garbage, Togi Makabe, David Finlay, and Juice Robinson take on the team of Yoshihashi, Toru Yano, Tomohiro Ishii, Jay White, and Haruki Goto. So Taguchi Japan versus Chaos.
Okay. Sure.
This is definitely obviously a placeholder feud between
obviously.
stables. Although again, the eventual Henare Ishii matchup needs to happen, and I can't wait for it.
Yes,
it's going to be amazing. But until we get to that, there's really not a whole lot about this feud that's really excites me.
Compelling.
But it's not as much of a compelling storyline as some others. But I mean, this will still be at least a pretty fun match.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Yano shenanigans aside and Literal Human Garbage being part of it aside, 4/5 of the match, well, definitely watchable, and definitely will be good when they get they have the Ishii and Henare segments, and also the Jay White, David Finlay segments
again, which we alluded to.
Yep, and Goto still has the never openweight belt, right?
To the best of my knowledge, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that they might start using some of this as a possibility to set up another Goto Juice feud. Hopefully. Maybe give Juice some singles gold finally. I would be all in favor of that.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens there. I don't have any confirmations or advanced knowledge that will happen, but I certainly would not object to it happening.
Agreed.
Next up, Bullet Club is fine.
Bullet Club is fine, Chris. I don't know why we are arguing this.
Yeah. And that's why you shouldn't think anything further about this match that features the Guerrillas of Destiny and Bad Luck Fale versus Marty Scurll and the Young Bucks. Absolutely nothing to see here.
I mean, multi-million-dollar recording artist Marty Scurll.
That is the stupidest thing that they could have done, but I love it.
And the greatest thing at the same time, my friend.
So fucking funny.
So fucking idiotic, but I love all of it.
Mm-hmm. That'll be interesting. Team Tonga versus Team Cody.
Yeah.
So we'll see. See where that goes. That's an interesting one. Next up, we've got another 10-man tag. The entirety of LIJ, Hiromu Takahashi, Bushi, Sanada, Evil, and Tetsuya Naito, versus El Desperado, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Taichi, Zack Sabre Jr., and Minoru Suzuki. This should be a fun one.
Agreed.
I mean,
agreed.
LIJ and Suzuki Gun is not a feud. Like last year, if you had told me that LIJ and Suzuki Gun were going to feud, I would not have thought it would be very good. But this year, it has turned out to be very compelling. I think that Naito losing at the Dome plays a big part in that. But even without that, it's definitely even if Naito had won, this feud would still be really good and definitely worth the viewing time.
It would have been.
So. This works, and these teams will definitely do some damage to each other. It'll definitely be a compelling watch. So, next up, here's a match for the ages. You ready for this one?
Oh, you have my attention, sir.
Kushida and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Okay.
Versus Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada.
All right.
Yeah.
Now we're cooking.
Yeah.
Now we've turned the burners on, baby. Yeah. Turn that flame on. We are cooking with a little bit of gasoline. Give me that again one more time. I want to chop that shit up. Let me get my little
Okay. No. Stop.
All right. Give me that one more time, man.
We're not doing that.
Give me that lineup one more time.
We're not doing that.
Give me that lineup one more time for real, though. I put the 20 away.
Kushida and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada in a match that will be
great
at worst.
Great.
Yeah. I mean, Kushida and Will, amazing chemistry with each other. Tanahashi and Okada, amazing chemistry with each other. Both teams have proven that they work well as teams in previous encounters. And it's just... there's going to be magic here. I mean...
Agreed.
Like, getting to see things like Ospreay trying to hit Robinson special on Tanahashi and, getting countered into, like, a sling blade or something. I don't know. Something wild.
Fuck, whatever.
Kushida going for Back to the Future on Okada, and Okada being like, nope, and just suplexing him overhead or something. I don't know.
Agreed.
There's so many options for great shit in this match that we would never see otherwise. So this is a match to definitely bookmark as a potential highlight for night one of Dontaku. And then your double, I mean, I don't want to call it a double main event, but I'm calling it a double main event just for posterity, I guess.
Chris, you can call it whatever you damn well please.
You got two singles matches. Kota Ibushi versus Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page. I know
I'm in. I am in.
What? Yeah, you're in?
Hangman's doing good. I'm in on the Hangman.
Yeah.
I am in on the Hangman.
I'm glad I called my shot on this last year, by the way.
You were not wrong, man.
Yeah. It took a little longer than anticipated. I said it already. It took a little longer than I anticipated, but this has definitely gotten the job done. Hangman has definitely been doing good work. So
agreed.
Definitely better than a lot of people expected because there were a lot of naysayers out there. There were not a lot of people who were saying
he's getting a whole hell of a lot better, man.
Yeah. So, and him working with Kenny, I mean, that's going to be awesome. And obviously, Ibushi and Cody, they've already had a great match with each other, and who wouldn't want to see that rematch? So
exactly.
That'll be a good one.
100%. Can't hurt.
For sure.
Can't hurt. Can only help.
Absolutely. And then night 2 of Wrestling Dontaku next Friday. So basically 3 hours or so after episode 60 gets off the air next week. So listen to us and then grab yourself a couple of espressos and then turn on the world to catch night 2 of Wrestling Dontaku next week. Yeah, or a power nap, espresso, power nap, whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever works.
Yep.
However you decide to stay up all night.
Yeah. Similar structure to the previous night in terms of the opening. We first have a 6-man tag that features Ryusuke Taguchi, Tiger Mask, and Jushin Thunder Liger versus the Young Lion team of Yuya Uemura, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Ren Narita and Shota Umino. So that should be an interesting one. Followed up by another Young Lion team, or not really the Young Lion team because it's Tomoyuki Oka and Yuji Nagata versus Chase Owens and Yujiro Takahashi. Followed up again by a 6-man tag that features Sho and Yo and Rocky Romero versus Taka Michinoku, Taichi, and Takashi Iizuka. So very similar opening 3 matches to the previous night's show. Similar fare. Not a whole lot to say there other than just, this is your pretty typical New Japan opener.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we get a rematch of from Wrestling Hino Kuni. Toa Henare and Togi Makabe once again taking on Toru Yano and Tomohiro Ishii. The slow burn of this Henare Ishii feud, the slow burn on it, as long as it's resolved, is awesome, and I'm digging it. So I hope they keep that up.
Agreed.
Next up, another 6-man tag. Literal Human Garbage, David Finlay and Juice Robinson versus Yoshihashi, Jay White, and Haruki Goto. So Maybe I'm right about the eventual Goto Juice program being rekindled.
I hope you are.
I hope so too. That I think is the best option in terms of what to do next with Goto, because he hasn't really done a whole lot.
No,
since he won the belt at Wrestle Kingdom, or since he retained the belt at Wrestle Kingdom, I should say. Oh wait, no, he did win the belt at Wrestle Kingdom. He beat.
Who is this? Goto? Yeah, he beat Goto.
Yeah, he beat Suzuki. Yeah, okay. I forgot that Suzuki was still holding the belt going into Wrestle Kingdom because it had been so freaking long that he had it, because like he won it in like the first half of 2016, and he just had a stranglehold on the damn thing the whole time.
Yeah, and the matches all were just pretty shitty.
Yeah,
really shitty. But, I'm not gonna lie, pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hopefully something comes out of this. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
where it
we'll
goes.
see.
Yep. Next up, another 10-man tag that features the entirety of LIJ. Hiromu Takahashi, Bushi, Sanada, Evil, and Tetsuya Naito versus another Suzuki Gun team. This time it is El Desperado, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Minoru Suzuki, and the Killer Elite Squad. So probably not quite as good as the previous night's matchup.
Probably not. No.
Simply because the previous night's matchup features Zack Sabre Jr. and this one does not. But you know.
But yeah, you can't always get what you want.
Exactly. Next up, another 10-man tag. This is this is where things get really interesting. I love reading this lineup. Tangaroa, Tamatanga, Bad Luck Fale, Kota Ibushi, and Kenny Omega versus Nick Jackson, Matt Jackson, Marty Scurll, Hangman Page, and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Bullet Club is fine.
Bullet Club is fine. I don't know, Chris. I don't know anyone who says anything to the contrary. Bullet Club is fine. And who would really disagree with me on that?
Yeah, of course. This is just friendly competition. It's fine.
Bullet Club is fine, Chris. Who says something to the contrary?
Exactly. Nobody's saying anything to the
contrary. Nobody. You know, like nobody who knows what they're talking about would say anything to the contrary. But Bullet Club is fine.
Bullet Club is fine.
100%.
Next up, we have another not quite double main event, but I'm calling it a double main event. The Fire Tag Team match from the previous night takes on its singles form. First up, for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, Will Ospreay versus Kushida.
All right.
And I mean, if you have any sense about you, you will remember that last year's Best of the Super Juniors finale between these two was one of the best junior heavyweight tag team matches that's happened in the last decade. It was so freaking good.
Yeah, it was quite good.
Stellar match.
It will Ospreay. You know, we have. You see, I'm in on the Will Ospreay show. I've been riding this train for a year, Chris, and I know you're in. I know I'm preaching to the choir.
Yeah,
but
Will Ospreay is the future.
This guy is the dude right now. Okay. He is one of the 10 best wrestlers in the world right now.
One of the two best junior heavyweights in the world.
Yeah. Oh, I'm talking all division.
Yeah. Overall, one of the top 10 within his division, one of the top 2.
Oh, absolutely.
The only one who could possibly make a case, and the only reason why it's not like closer is because they haven't been doing anything with him. But the only one who's even close is Takahashi.
Indeed.
Other than that, who else can you bring? I mean, there's plenty of guys who are great, but there are very few who are exceptional in the level that Will Ospreay is right now.
100%. He is on a roll and he's doing it all.
Yeah. Which is to say nothing of the fact that Kushida is also still.
Oh yeah.
He's still stellar.
We are not underselling Kushida at all. At least I hope we're not underselling.
No, not in the least. He's still stellar. He is still he's one. I mean, if we're talking best of the junior heavyweights in the world, he's in the top 5 still, despite the fact that he's by all standards one of the oldest among the among the junior heavyweights in the world. He's probably one of the most senior members of that group, but he is also still one of the best, one of the 5 best that there is. and he gets it done no matter what. Will Ospreay is just a beast. This match is going to be sensational.
Oh, absolutely, it is. I don't see any reason why it would not.
Yeah,
to be honest,
right.
There's no reason at all why it would not be an incredible wrestling match.
Yeah.
So, what's next, my friend?
If that doesn't convince you to turn on this show very early on Friday morning, then this sure as hell should. Your main event is an IWGP Heavyweight Championship match.
I'm in automatically.
Between Kazuchika Okada and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Okay, Chris. This is next week, right?
Yes.
Okay, we need to do a breakdown of these two next week. I have a match. You know what? I'm going to give you a match of the week.
Okay.
You do Wrestle Kingdom 10, and I'll do Wrestle Kingdom 9, or vice versa. Or do an Okada Tanahashi match, and I will do an Okada Tanahashi match.
All right, I want to do the Wrestle Kingdom 10 match. Okay,
then I'll do the one the year before that got overshadowed a bit by Nakamura and Kota Ibushi.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, and the Wrestle Kingdom 10 match also got overshadowed by Nakamura Styles. But both of these matches are great matches.
They're unbelievable. These two have some of the best chemistry I have ever seen. It boggles the mind to me how good of professional wrestlers they both are.
Yeah.
So,
but they're almost a decade apart in age.
Yes.
And yet they are still like they just still have it. They have it.
They never lost it.
No way. Yeah. They just as performers, like a rivalry that has like been on and off for the better part of 4 years?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah. Like these two have always had it, and they, I think that a lot of it comes from just mutual respect.
Yeah.
And Tanahashi, I think he knows, despite the fact that he is, not wanting to necessarily cede his spot, I think he knows Okada is absolutely the future. Okada is the dude. And it's gonna be sensational to watch this match and see if they do if they do this as like a passing of the torch moment or what. I'm not sure, but I mean, let's just put it this way: Okada currently holds the record for longest reigning and most defenses.
Okay.
And I think oh yeah, and he's already passed Tanahashi in terms of combined days reigned.
He wins this match. He wins the he breaks the record of hold on a second. He breaks the most total defenses record. Right?
No, because right now Tanahashi still has the most combined defenses at 28. So unless this Wikipedia article is exceptionally out of date,
I think it's most. Yeah. I would be shocked if Tanahashi has. I don't think Tanahashi has 28 total defenses with the IWGP belt. That seems absurd.
No, he's held it 7 times.
28 defenses? It seems like a lot.
That's 4 defenses per title reign. That's not a lot.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah. Simple mathematics, guys. It's something that we specialize in on Two Guys One Sport.
Yeah, sounds about right, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, it might not be, but I mean, Okada still has broken, with the exception of that, if that is accurate. And I obviously take everything that's on Wikipedia with a grain of salt.
Fucking Wikipedia, so who the hell knows?
But if this is accurate, then that's the only record that Okada has left to break as the most combined defenses, and then that'll be it. He will officially have been he will officially be the guy that holds all the records with this belt.
Yeah,
and
good times,
and rightfully so. He is the man. So if you need a reason to wake up early Friday morning, this is it. If If the Bullet Club is fine, 10-man tag didn't convince you, and if Kushida versus Will Ospreay doesn't convince you, this should convince you, because you're never going to get a match like this again. I don't think.
This is it.
This will likely be the last time we see Okada Tanahashi.
You talk about Tanahashi's midlife crisis, and he is wrestling better than he almost not better, but just as good, considering he is, an old broken down man.
Mm-hmm.
And Okada is at the absolute apex of his abilities right now.
Yeah.
So you're getting one guy who is in my top 20 all-time in-ring workers and climbing in Hiroshi Tanahashi. And you're getting one guy who is the monster. Like, I can't even describe how good he is.
Yeah.
Without being redundant in my words.
Yeah.
So
to try and quantify how incredible, how singularly amazing Kaz Okada is, it defies logic and defies words at this point. He's just...
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Why they pay you the big bucks, Chris?
Sure they do. But he is...
The Young Bucks.
Yeah, pays the Young Bucks, yeah. He's just... I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to bother, because to try and come up with more superlatives, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't matter. So we know. Everybody knows. We all know. Yeah.
So he's just the dude.
Yeah. All right. Now we got to go, unfortunately, and talk about something that is not
less fun.
But because we promised to bring you a little bit of everything and cover all the important stuff. We got to talk about what is being dubbed the greatest Royal Rumble of all time, which is really just a shit show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. I'm just gonna run down the card. I don't really want to give a whole lot of analysis because,
let me real quick, Chris. Why are you're not watching the show?
No.
Briefly, why not? I think it's fair that you explain why not, and I'll explain why not if you haven't covered it. Okay.
Well, for one thing, as I stated, I am currently boycotting main roster WWE following the atrocity of a WrestleMania main event that we experienced this year.
Fair.
For another thing, WWE is getting in bed with some really horrendous people in Saudi Arabians and the Saudi Arabian government, just to get themselves a payday and put themselves in front of a crowd that will react in the way that Vince McMahon wants them to. And third, the amount of crap that WWE is willing to sacrifice and, put up with just to make this show happen in the way that the Saudi government will allow and in the way that the Saudi state media will run is uncontrovertible for a company that touts itself to be, an American institution, a country that is supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave, to be willing to say, well, we're going to go to this country that has horrible ethical treatment of people who, they deem to be lesser citizens, and just comply with all their rules and, treat our performers in that way just to, get on their good side, is fucking terrible. That's the worst kind of corporate ethics that you could imagine. And yeah, of course, you're in service to your shareholders, but your shareholders are shitheads too then. So I am of a moral and ethical standpoint that this show is not worth watching. And as a fan who has been stomped on by the people who create this product, I am of the mindset that this continues to be not worth watching because they're doing a disservice to a lot of the people involved, including many of my favorites.
Okay. You're not wrong. Let me tell you why I'm not watching this show. And it is not my place to tell people they should watch. It's not my place to tell people they shouldn't watch. If you watch the show, great. If you don't, great. I'm sleeping just as easily either way. So I will not think less of you if you do. I will not think more of you if you do not. So I want to make that crystal clear.
Yep.
I have no problem with compartmentalizing when it comes to sports, and I'm lumping the WWE into that group. Some of my favorite athletes of all time have been difficult people. I'm looking right now as I'm sitting here at the wall of my apartment, and there are 2 newspapers that are framed on the wall of my apartment. The front page of the Tribune when the Cubs won the World Series, and the front page of the Tribune when the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. Both of those teams had men who were criminals on the team. I have no problem compartmentalizing and saying, well, I'm only cheering for the athlete. I'm not cheering for the human. I got no problem doing that. I do have a problem with hypocrisy, and I do have a problem when they are as overt about it as this is.
Yes.
You cannot, if you want to run your house show and your network special, whatever the hell you want to call it, and you want to make your millions, fine. Great. But you can't brand yourself as leaders of the women's revolution. And you can't shout from the rooftops that you're leaders of the women's revolution and not expect to get called out when you get in bed with a country that treats women like second-class citizens.
Yep.
You can't. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Chris.
And let me take that one step further. You cannot get in bed with the government and a country that treats people that are not part of the state-run religion as enemies of the state and worthy of capital punishment and assault and battery and all sorts of other things, and then go out into the world and say, "Oh, look at our Be a Star anti-bullying program."
Yeah, it's set that aside for a second, and I don't want to get too lost in the weeds. Saudi Arabia is not a good place. It's a bad place run by bad people. Why would you give legitimacy to these people and this place? You know what I'm saying? Like, we talked last week about apartheid, and how that worked out in South Africa and how they were boycotted instead of embraced, like the Saudis are embraced. What are you doing, guys?
Yeah. I mean, I know that, you go on the internet, you're not supposed to take a stance on things, but for the love of fucking God, take a stance on something. Have a spine.
What are we doing here? Yeah.
Don't fucking be the slaves to the almighty dollar. Seriously. I'm tired of it. I'm fucking tired of it. All right, let's just run down this card.
Run down the card real quick, and then we'll wrap up. I don't mind the compartmentalizing. I just don't like feeling as I don't like doing it. I don't
talking about this is
just makes me sad. It just makes me sad that
it's squicky.
It's not even squicky. It's just, I mean, they're using American-made bombs to bomb civilians, and everyone, this country, Europe and France and Germany and Japan, and everyone is okay with it. But you know what? And I can't change the world, man. I can't. But I can choose to not support a company that goes out of their way to be hypocritical about it.
Fucking men to that.
So that's my decision. You can make yours. I mean, not my place to tell you that you're right, not my place to tell you that you're wrong. But that's just what I'm thinking, man.
You and the audience, the same goes for you. You can make your decision as you want. If you want to watch this show, more power to you. But
I'm not watching it.
For us, it is not within our capacity to do it.
If you want to throw a breakdown of this show, this ain't going to be of the greatest Royal Rumble in Jeddah. Next week's episode will not be a thorough breakdown of that show because I am not watching it. And Chris is not watching it.
It's going to be just a brief rundown of the results of the card. That is it.
Maybe Raw and SmackDown, etc., etc.
There is literally nothing else that we want to put into this card. We don't want to put any analysis into it. We don't want to put any editorializing into it. We don't want to put any debate into it. We are just going to do the facts and nothing else. So this card from top to bottom is as follows, or from bottom to top, I should say. I'm reading it from bottom to top. The Undertaker versus Rusev in a casket match. John Cena versus Triple H in a singles match. Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto in a singles match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos in a tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus Sheamus and Cesaro in a tag team match for the vacant Raw Tag Team Championships. Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal in a singles match for the United States Championship. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a singles match for the WWE Championship. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe versus The Miz in a ladder match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns in a steel cage match for the WWE Universal Championship. And the Greatest Royal Rumble match, which so far has the following competitors announced for it. Daniel Bryan, Braun Strowman, Kurt Angle, Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil, Elias, Goldust, Mojo Rawley, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, Chad Gable, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Shelton Benjamin, Sin Cara, Chris Jericho, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, The Great Khali, and Mark Henry.
Cool.
Good enough. Next, to close out tonight's show, we are going to talk about the unprecedented phenomenon that is brewing into looking like it's going to be something for the ages, something that will genuinely be historical, something that will set out and will accomplish the goal set out by the men that created it. I'm talking, of course, about All In, the show that is scheduled to happen on September 1st at the Sears Center in Chicago. The Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes trying to get 10,000 people to this arena for a wrestling show that is completely independently organized and run and is going to be completely breaking the mold. Completely.
Yeah, it is.
You as a resident of Chicago,
yes, sir.
You are going to this.
100%. 100%. Unless something unforeseen happens.
Is the city of Chicago making a big deal about this?
The wrestling community is. There are AEW's running shows the night before to capitalize on people flying in like it's a WrestleMania weekend. Like they're running shows on, I think that Thursday they're running a show to just explicitly to get people who are flying in early to go to their show like it's WWN or something in New Orleans.
That's insane. That's wild.
They are running a show that Thursday. It's Saturday, right? September 1st.
Yes, Saturday.
So they're running a show that Thursday. Explicitly announced, "Hey, you coming in for All In? Go to our show first." Like so, yes, the wrestling community in the city of Chicago is making a very big deal of this.
Okay, good, as they should.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because this show is a big deal, and the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes are booking it to make it to be a big deal. The lineup for this show is amazing.
Crazy.
Let me run this down. Let me run this down for you, because this is a lineup that you will not see anywhere. Like this combined group of talent, the only place that you could possibly ever see this combined group of talent all in one place is at some sort of Ring of Honor Super Show. And this is very much not affiliated with Ring of Honor. This is completely independent, as I said. So let me run down this. Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Marty Scurll, Hangman Page, Tessa Blanchard, Stephen Amell, Pentagon Jr., Phoenix, Deonna Purrazzo, Joey Janela, Penelope Ford, Chelsea Green, Jay Lethal, and Britt Baker. with still more announcements to come. Another big announcement scheduled to happen next Wednesday, May 2nd. That lineup would make most promoters just start drooling uncontrollably to see that lineup.
Yeah. With good reason.
With good reason, because this talent is, oh my God.
It's crazy. It's crazy good.
It's I can't even, like I said, I can't even put it into words.
It's the amount, Chris, we may get an Okada Omega match of some sort.
Yeah.
Chris, we may get Okada Omega against the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
We may get the Bucks and Cody Rhodes against Okada Omega and Kota Ibushi.
Yeah.
I'm just making shit up.
They haven't even announced Kota Ibushi as part of it yet.
I'm just making up names. I don't know shit. I'm just a guy, and nobody has announced any matchups or anything. But like, just you talk about people fantasy booking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesus, man, fantasy booked the shit out of this.
This is literal fantasy booking. That is what it is. This is fantasy booking of the highest levels of imagination that nobody could freaking imagine.
Indeed.
Like it's incredible. So yeah, this show is going to be stellar and spectacular in every way. I'm going to try and make it to the show. I'm going to do everything in my power to make it to this show because I want to see this live. Like, the things that we are going to see at this show are incredible. So,
come on down, baby.
Yeah.
Come on down.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen. So that's all in. That's just the lineup. They haven't even announced any matches yet. The only other thing that's worth noting about All In is...
I've been to that venue, the Sears Center.
Mm-hmm.
There are no bad seats. It is a perfectly sized venue. So when we're looking at tickets, and, oh my God, we have to get in the upper deck, it doesn't matter. It's not a gigantic venue or anything, so don't worry about that,
Mm-hmm.
It's a perfectly sized venue for their for what they are trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, I am thoroughly excited for the show, and I am very happy that they chose to do it in my hometown. And I will be even happier when you get on the airplane and come visit me. Definitely. And go to the show. It's going to be great. We should have a live podcast remote. We should go to AEW the days before if you can get off that early. I know it may be hard to get your schedule, but we should make a whole full-blown wrestling weekend. And you know what? It is nothing but good if more wrestling is better than less wrestling, and more good wrestling is better than less wrestling.
Yes.
So I am hopeful that this works for the men and women involved in this show, and I hope that they are able to get all the people they want to go to the show and make all the money, because that will only spurn the next show to do even better. People like setting records. Oh, you did 10,000, I'm going to do 11,000. Oh, you did 11, I'm going to try 12. And it is and I also, before we go any further, I want to say one last piece about Cody Rhodes, who I was 100% wrong on, because the guy's a star. He is not a good worker, not a great worker. He's a good worker.
I know you were planning on expositing about this the night that my internet cut out, and we didn't get to finish that discussion.
He is not a great worker by any. I mean, he is not top 50 in terms of in-ring ability in the world, would you say? Off the top of your head?
No, not in the least.
No. But he carries himself like a star, and he bet on himself. He put all his chips in, and he fucking drew that ace, and he nailed it. He busted his ass. The day he left the WWE, he busted his ass, and he worked for peanuts on the indies to make a name for himself and to get himself out there. And he has really, I think, I've turned the corner on this guy, because he is a star. He has it. He is charismatic. People hate him in the good way. In the good way.
He knows his role. He knows his role so well.
He's the last real heel in the world. He's not trying to get cheered. He's not the cool heel like Kevin Nash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He is a dick face.
Yeah.
100% dick face. And you love to boo the shit out of him. And I had a blast at Ring of Honor just booing the shit out of this scumbag. And I use scumbag, not kayfabe.
Yeah,
not,
of course.
Kayfabe scumbag.
Yeah.
He's not a real life scumbag,
Yeah.
to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah.
So and the way that he deals with all the dickbag racist fans on Twitter probably proves me that he's not a scumbag in real life. You know,
the fact that he actually goes to the effort of engaging with people. Like, I will say this: you recall back at that one Ring of Honor show where they had the whole thing about Brandy kissing Kenny and the shit show that happened. Like he like genuinely engaged in discussion with fans.
Yeah, he didn't shut down.
The LGBTQ persuasion, and like heard them out, and eventually came to the understanding of why it was not okay, and admitted that they could have done better, and that really gave me such a great amount of respect for the guy. And like, you'll recall after that happened, I was rampaging about how pissed off I was about it.
Yeah, you were not the only one, my friend. Lots of people were pissed off about this. You're not the only one. So he owned up to it, and he said, I fucked up. And lo and behold, here we are, right? And he got it. He got it right away. He got it. So,
yep. And even though like people might say that Cody Rhodes might be getting overvalued and might be stealing the spotlight a little bit on the indie circuit, whether you agree with that idea or not, what he's doing right now actually makes a difference and is actually like helpful and worthwhile. Agreed. And it should not be discounted that what he's doing is better than a lot of people have done for the indie scene in a very long time. There are a lot of people who have not treated the indie scene very well, and who have just really brought a bad name to it in some ways. But he's doing a great job.
He is certainly not one of them.
He's a credit to this scene, to this fandom, and I'm glad that he is in the spot that he's in.
I was dead wrong, man. Dead wrong, and I'll own it. I'll wear it.
No, me too. Me too. 100%. I was absolutely wrong as well.
Oh fuck yeah! Cubs won 1-0. Yeah,
nice.
I love a good 1-0 game. Yeah. Every pitch matters,
Good pitching, good pitchers duel. Can't ever say no to a good pitcher's duel.
Until the 8th, till the 7th, Schwarber home run. Love it, and I love it. You know what? Sometimes wrestling's like baseball. You ready for this segue?
Oh yeah.
You know how sometimes in baseball you want a 1-0 game, and sometimes in baseball you want a 10-8 game. Sometimes in baseball you want a 1-0 game in the cold, and sometimes in baseball you want to sit there and drink some beers in the bleachers and just watch the guys round the bases.
Yep.
Just like wrestling. Sometimes you want
to watch the home run derby with innings.
Yep. And sometimes in wrestling you want to watch flippy-do bullshit. And sometimes in wrestling you want to watch strong style. And sometimes you want to watch lucha. And sometimes you want to watch the WWE. And sometimes you want to watch whatever. Insert whatever. The more wrestling we have, the better. So if you're like me, ladies and gents, you should be pulling for All In and Ring of Honor and Lucha Underground, and even TNA, and New Japan, and the WWE, and you should be pulling for everybody. Just try not to be so fucking hypocritical about it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking.
There's plenty of that. There's plenty of that.
There's enough of that,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. So
we are, my friend.
Again, I hope All In succeeds.
I hope they smash the records, and I can't wait to be there. And I hope you can make it. I hope you can make it, man.
Yeah, same here. I'm going to do my best. I'm looking at all the discounted flights, everything I can do.
That makes me happy, my friend.
Yeah.
So, plugs? You got anything else?
Yeah, let's just do the plugs. Let's get out of here. We're actually on time for once. Wednesday night shooting with our friends Andrew M. Swift and Tanya Rogers is always worth a listen. You can check them out on YouTube. Follow them on Twitter at Militia Malice Joe and Andrew M. Swift. Get all of the attention on them because they are incredible at their jobs. They do great content. We are happy to have them back on the scene. You can also check out our brother Don Sal at Cedar Bridge Media with match fixing. Check him out at Kuzmano_Sal or at Cedar_Bridge to get all of his info and news on the wrestling world and all things going on. He is a smart ass guy. He knows exactly what he's talking about. He is a credit to our
Don Sal is both a wise man and a wise guy, if you catch my drift.
Oh, yes. He is funny as hell, too. Good guy. Funny guy, great guy.
Yep.
Can't say enough good things about Don Sal. He is worth it. And then on Saturday mornings, you can check out our friends, our Los Ingobernables de podcast brethren over at Shooting Debris, Taker's Minion, Mr. Dr. Senju. I want to say, again, another thank you to Taker's Minion for being on last week's show with us. And we're sorry that he had to leave early, but Taker's Minion, you are a great man. We're glad to be associated with you and glad to have you on this wild ride with us. You can check them out on Twitter at Shootin'daBreeze1. That's BREEZ1. And you can also check them out on their individual accounts, Takers_Minion and MRDR Senju, to get all the news about their show. The Dawson Report is currently on a little bit of a hiatus because our good friend Philip Dawson is kind of just swamped with other things that he's got going on. You know, real life gets in the way sometimes, and we certainly understand that. And we will be sure to make sure that we let you all know when he is back, because he does great stuff as well with the Dawson Report. You can follow him at Philip Bexman as well to keep up to date on what's going on with him. And also our friends, our favorite wrestling podcast that deliver all the good content. You can check out the Married Marks, Not Your Demographic, and Face Like Feministas on all major podcasting syndication venues. If you are aware of any other great wrestling podcasts that are worthy of promotion or disbursement to the masses, please be sure to send them our way so we can check them out and give them a listen, because we love to provide you guys with recommendations for good content because you take the time to be here with us. And we thank you for that, of course. You can check us out on iTunes at the link below the video in the description. It'll bring you to our iTunes page where you can subscribe, give us a rating, give us a recommendation, let everybody know how much you like our stuff. And, of course, you can check us out on Twitter at 2guys1sport, number 1 in the handle, and on our personal pages at crazychris576 and at GitSavas. Next week, episode 60, we will be recapping Wrestling Kuni, Night 1 of Wrestling Dontaku, the Greatest Royal Rumble, and we will have further preview of Night 2 of Wrestling Dontaku and WWE Backlash as well, along with any other great news that happens in the wrestling sphere between then and now. The WrestleMania fatigue is still strong, but we are getting over it as much as we can. That is what makes all the difference. My friend. Makes all the difference in the world. To have you guys here to listen to us and to be able to do this together. You're a good man, George. Just want to make sure that I tell you that. I don't tell you that enough.
So the PayPal money came through that I can.
Yeah, it did right in the middle of the
show. No, you know what, Chris, man. You know there are times where I love doing this podcast, and because of you, it is every time.
Nice.
Thank you, so. Thought there was going to be a little segue. No, I'm not. No heel turn here, man.
Yeah, I mean, you've always been the heel, but this is a nice little moment right before you.
No horseman beatdown. No horseman beatdown coming.
Right before you smash me over the head with a clipboard.
Yeah, no horseman beatdown.
All right, take us out.
As always, a sincere thank you to anyone who listens, rates, reviews, engages with us.
Oh, and also I completely forgot an apology to everybody who may be subscribed on iTunes and wondering where the hell episode 58 was. This week has just been a little bit hectic for me, and I completely forgot to upload it, but do not worry, it is in the Audacity editor right now, and it will be up before the night is out.
Unacceptable.
I know.
I demand a full refund.
I'm so bad at this.
I demand a full refund, Chris.
Oh, God, what have I done?
A full refund.
Well deserved.
As always, go on. I'm sorry.
No, I was done.
As always, a sincere thank you for listening, engaging, reviewing, hint, liking, hint, us. And we be good to each other. Be good to wrestling. Expect more from wrestling. Don't ever take this shit for granted. And I guess enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for listening, everybody. Oh, and don't work yourself into a shoot.
That too. Episode 59 is in the books.